C-Red Nation, what is good? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Question on the table today: is Coby White finally becoming the player we thought he was going to be when we drafted him 7th overall? And a possible surprise trade in the weeds for Zach Lavine. All that and more in today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Let's go. Now, if y'all are new to the channel, please like the video. Please subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago Bulls daily on this channel. It's the only channel talking Bulls, how Bulls fans talk. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man. So, Coby White finally starting to look like the guy that we thought we were getting a few years ago. The question on the table: is he finally turning the corner? Is he finally becoming the Coby White that we thought we were getting when we selected him 7th overall? Heck, is he finally becoming and heading towards becoming a star in this NBA? And I think there's, right, like, listen, let's not jump too far ahead when we talk star talk, right? But when you look at the numbers over, I'd say the last 6 games, right? He's got a 31, 6-9, 23, 7-4, 19, 3-1. Not the best game right there. I mean, still 19, right? 23, 4-5, and 20. Gotta be able to see this. 3-5. There we go. Right. And you're talking about a player who is kind of finding his way here, and you see that gradually continue to get better. I read that from most recent game to the 6th game back. So, you know, over that time, we're seeing his game continue to improve. And so the question that I have is, right, is he finally turning the corner and becoming the guy? And I think I said this on Locked On Bulls yesterday. By the way, tune in with me and Hayes over on Locked On Bulls as well. And I feel like it's one of the things that holds the truest about Coby White. The conversation about Coby White to me is not a conversation on who can this guy be, right? I wasn't surprised to see 31, 6-9. I've never been surprised to see Coby White go off and have a scoring night. The surprise for me will be, can he do it past this month? Can he do it next month? Can he do it in February? Can he do it heading into March, right? Can he maintain being this player for the duration of the season? I think there's a few factors that factor into that, but even Coby White coming into this season talked about how he was inconsistent as a player, and that's the reason why, you know, he's where he is right now in the NBA. Now, those inconsistencies also, to me, have to do with a lot of the roles that Coby White has been put in, right? We're talking about coming into this season. Coby White's already played, well, this season, not as much, I should say, but last season, right, Coby White played point guard, starting point guard, bench point guard, starting 2 guard, bench 2 guard, 3 off of the bench, right? Like, there were multiple spots where you saw Coby White be put in a position where that might not be who this guy is, right? And a lot of times that does bring the up and down basketball. That brings the up and down play. That brings on the inconsistencies, because you're asking me to do something completely different than what you asked me to do in this game here. And guess what? I'm not as good at that as I am at this. You know what Coby White is good at, though? Shooting the 3 ball. And I think that we're now getting to see him excel, one, because he has the ball in his hands. He's able to create. He's definitely improved as far as his handle and defense on, you know, on the court. But being more consistent to me with the handle, being able to get to his spots more consistently, being able to find his spots, and then, right, increasing the range on the 3-point shots and the consistency that he's able to knock it down with. Interesting stat, got this from Bulls Muse on Twitter today, said players with 60 plus 3-pointers on 40% three-pointers made. So basically, people have taken 60 or more 3-pointers, shooting above 40%. Here's your list: Stephen Curry, Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Halliburton, Coby White. You're starting to see consistency with Coby. You're starting to see Coby be able to go out there game in and game out and give you the same level of play. And I also think that goes to, listen, Here's the real conversation you have to have with Coby White, right? Like the difference we're seeing this season is Coby has 6 games where he's taken less than 10 shots. We're seeing a Coby White that now is more looking to be the offense of this team. That's now, especially with Zach Lavine sitting down throughout this week, right? And you're starting to see a different game from the young guys. You're kind of seeing Zach or Coby White be able to even go out there with the mindset of, I'm the number one scorer out here tonight. I'm the number one piece on the offense tonight. I think that just going into the game, knowing that already and not finding it out as you get there, I think that makes Coby White's life a lot easier. Do I think that he's going to be a star? I don't know, right? That comes with consistency. Can you go out there night in and night out and put up the numbers that you're putting up right now? Do I think that he can? Yes. Do I think that he will? That's yet to be seen. And so that's the part where I'm still hung up on it. Again, 31 points, 25 points from Coby White, to be expected. I know what he is as a scorer. He's been this since his first year here. What was it? Him and Zach had a game where both of them had 35 plus points, right? Like, and it was the sweet life of Zach and Coby, right? Like, y'all remember that? Like, that's the guy that I know exists here. But the thing is, we haven't seen Coby White in a consistent role since his rookie year when Jim Boylan was here, and you really didn't want that, right? Now we're seeing a little bit of consistency in Coby. Now we're seeing the offense start to stick around. I love the fact that the three-point shooter that we were looking for possibly could have been here on our team the entire time, and we just had to give him the opportunity to go out there and do it. Oh, by the way, on those shots, right, like I talked about shot selection and different things like that, Coby letting it fly from the three-point line. 6, 8, 4, 6, 5. These are attempts. 6, 8, 5, 3, 10, 8, 12, 7, 12, 5, 11, 13. Those are the attempts, and he's shooting those at an above 40% clip. He's hit 60 of 149 attempts. That is what I want to see Coby White do on a consistent basis, and it feels like he's more comfortable being this level of player. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below, man. Love to see Coby White taking his ascension. Let me know your thoughts on Coby. Do you think that he could be a number one scorer for us in the future? What do you think the ceiling is on Coby White? I'll be down to talk with you guys as well. Another interesting topic that I wanted to hit on in this one, man. Zach Lavine. This is it sucks to me, right? Like I put this on Twitter yesterday. Follow me on Twitter at Pat the Designer. I put this on Twitter yesterday talking about Zach Lavine and the fact that we've seen him kind of be not the same guy, right? Hasn't been the same guy this season that we've seen Zach be for most of the season. And I think that the mindset has really dampened what this team can go out there and do on a night in and night out basis. We're seeing now a couple games without him. The mindset of the team is completely different. They're fighting more. They're running harder. They're attacking on defense more aggressively, right? We're seeing more consistency out of Coby White. We're seeing more consistency out of Patrick Williams on the defensive end and on the offensive end, because now he's getting those shots that Zach Lavine isn't putting up out there, right? Even seeing the growth of Ayo Dosunmu in this time, right? I know it's only 2 games without Zach, but it's 2 games with a mindset that we haven't seen from this team since Zach Lavine requested the trade against Dallas. And so I think that now a trade is probably all but a foregone conclusion, right? In my mind, I like Zach Lavine. I really, really, really like Zach Lavine, and I don't want to see him go to another team and become the Zach Lavine that we wanted him to be here. But, you know, we'll kind of see what that's going to turn into. But an interesting team that is looking to make a move for Zach Lavine off of all of this. Bobby Marks coming out and talking about the Detroit Pistons. The Detroit Pistons, yet again, are dog water this season. And it doesn't seem to be getting better. I believe the Pistons are now up to 17 straight losses, if I'm not mistaken. They are in a no-win November, as one Twitter follower put it. And there's going to be some changes made there, right? Because that is a team that it just seems like they don't have enough of a offensive identity. Monty Williams hasn't been, you know, as effective as a lot of people thought he was going to be immediately, which is the funniest thing in the world, right? New coach shows up and all of a sudden people are like, oh, well, he's going to have an immediate impact on these young guys because that's what he does. Well, they're not superstars yet. Makes a big difference when you have superstars versus not, right? So You haven't seen the same level of play out of a lot of these guys. And so the question on the table is, should the Chicago Bulls look to the Pistons as an option? Bobby Marks believes so. He says he would not be surprised if they dip their toe into Zach Lavine and see what his market is. By the way, pause, Bobby Marks. That's crazy. They're dipping toes into Zach Lavine. Wild way to say that, brother. But could the Detroit Pistons be a viable option for the Chicago Bulls? Now, in this situation, you're sending the Pistons a veteran. You're sending the Pistons a proven scorer. Zach Lavine still gets to go there and be the number one option pretty much on that team with Cade Cunningham, who is a very similar point guard, kind of. I don't know. I can say that. Very similar point guard to what Alonzo Ball was here, where we saw Zach Lavine be his best version of himself, which I think is why the interest for the Pistons might actually be there, right? You get to see Zach Lavine in a situation that we've seen him thrive in. We know what he is as a player. As far as a winning culture, it'll be interesting to see if he brings that there, right, when he hasn't been able to establish one here. I think that also goes to the level of teams that he's had here in Chicago. But right, when I look at this possibility of sending him to Detroit, one, if you're AK, this is not the simple, oh, yes, I make this deal, because you would get young pieces back, right? And I think Jaden Ivey would be an interesting piece to get back, because I don't know what it is about Jaden Ivey, but they are so up and down on him in Detroit right now. I mean, like, his minutes bouncing all over the place, bro. And you're just not seeing him give you consistent play. Very similar to what we're seeing out of Coby White, right? Because he's just been, I mean, like, one game he's playing 7 minutes. The next game he's playing 29. He's got 30 minutes on the docket. He's got 11. He played 11 minutes versus the Chicago Bulls. He was not hurt. Played 11 minutes versus the Bulls. Put up 6 points on 2 of 4 shooting. Didn't see the court again. Right? Like, he's a player. And the funny thing about him is, right now, very up and down play, but it's to be expected. You never know what you're going to get from him. He's a young player, 21 years old, top pick in last year's draft, but seems to just, like, every time Monty Williams comes to a team, there seems to be one guy that just falls out of favor there. Could the Chicago Bulls go out there, add a Jaden Ivey, maybe add some big man help? I doubt they move on from Bojan there, but maybe they end up moving on from Bojan Bogdanovic as well, who's been a little bit banged up, but did get a little bit of run, I think last night was his first night, or 2 nights ago was his first night playing, and instantly gave you 22 points, right? Like, so that would be a vet I would love to see the Bulls go out and add. I think this keeps the Chicago Bulls competitive. Offers an opportunity for Jaden Ivey to come in here and possibly make a name for himself in Chicago. Zach Lavine going over there. You get the scoring vet. You get to work with him and Cade Cunningham. The ages still work together, align pretty well, right? Because Zach Lavine pretty much is entering his prime here, while Cade Cunningham and all of that is working himself into becoming that next level of guy. I think that this is a deal that the Pistons would look to do. I think this is a deal that the Bulls might look to be in on as well. But you also have to take into account that mindset of, we're going to have to see him 4 times a year. Do you want to see Zach Lavine coming back after working with Monty Williams, right? Like, you also have to take that part into it too. Monty Williams is going to get the best out of him. Monty Williams is going to get the best version of Zach, because one, Zach's going to be pissed off that he got traded to Detroit if we do trade him to Detroit. And two, we've seen the effect that Monty Williams can have on those star level players that end up turning themselves into that next level. I think that Monty Williams would absolutely be a godsend for Zach Lavine's career. And to me, right, y'all know I wanted Monty here, blah, blah, blah. The whole Billy situation is what it is. Y'all know how, y'all already know my feelings on that. I'm not rehashing that every time we talk about Billy Donovan or the coaching position here, but I kind of am. God, I wanted Monty. But at the end of the day, right, like, I look at this Bulls team now and I say, okay, you know, like, you're now making moves for younger pieces, but also getting savvy vets in here, which I think aligns with what AK really wants to do, because he doesn't want to blow this up. I'm telling you guys now, DeMar DeRozan's probably not getting traded. Nikola Vucevic is not getting traded. Alex Caruso is not getting traded. They're going to try and run this thing with these younger guys, build up these young guys, allow them to take more shots. I think you're seeing more of a DeMar DeRozan, like we talked about on Locked On yesterday, or today's episode, right? The San Antonio version version of DeMar, where he's going out there, he's focused more on getting assists, picking his spots, attacking when he needs to. Those are the things that you're going to see out of this Bulls team, I believe, moving forward. And I think that this would be a package that the Chicago Bulls would like to make a trade for. But at the end of the day, let me know how you guys feel down in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. As always, this boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Should the Chicago Bulls trade Zach Lavine to the Detroit Pistons if they are going to, as Bobby Marks put it, dip their toe into Zach Lavine? Crazy. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. One love. See Red Nation. Stand up. Peace.